Welcome to Water Online Radio's coverage from WEFTEC, broadcasting live from New Orleans, Louisiana. WEFTEC 16, creating the future of water. Water Online Radio is brought to you by wateronline.com, showcasing today's water industry leaders and innovators. And now, here is your host, Todd Schnick.
All right, good morning and welcome back to our 6th year of coverage from WEFTEC. I'm your host, Todd Schnick, joined by the big man in the house, Pat Gallagher, my friend. This conversation we're about to have is always my favorite on Water Online Radio. Always enjoy our time with these gentlemen.
Two great guys, always bring something exciting to the table to talk about. Just as exciting to talk off the air as they are on the air. So that's how you know that they're going to bring it.
That's it, and they always do bring it, Pat. That is for sure. We're joined again by our members of the Hall of Fame of Water Online Radio, Maury Gaston, who is the Manager of Marketing Services with American Ductile Iron Pipe and American Spiral Weld Pipe. And we're also joined again by Derek Scott, Marketing and Technical Manager with American Flow Control. Maury, Derek, welcome back, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, Todd. Pat.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Patrick.
Maury, always good to see you, sir. Lead us off, Maury, with a quick overview of American, just in case someone listening is not familiar with you guys. Give us a quick overview.
Sure. Thank you, Todd. American serves the water, wastewater, energy, and capital goods markets. In the water and wastewater market, we've got ductile iron pipe and spiral weld pipe. We've got a complete line of valves and fire hydrants, including 2 iconic fire hydrant brands. We make Waterworks products from 2-inch diameter valves to 12-foot diameter pipe. In the energy market, we've got electric resistance welded steel pipe transporting petroleum products. And in the capital goods markets, we supply castings for heavy machinery that serve the mining and other industries.
All right. So Derek, lead us off. We understand American has a really big announcement for the folks here attending WEFTEC. Share the big news, please.
Well, Todd, you're right. And this is a special exhibit for us this year here at WEFTEC. And our company's been long known for bringing innovation to the waterworks industry. And in fact, we've been instrumental in that advancement water infrastructure for over 100 years. A lot of folks don't know, but in 1929, our company introduced and patented the mechanical joint, originally developed for the gas industry, but soon became a significant part of the waterworks industry and really has become the gold standard, if you will, for gasketed pipe joints. And today, we're going to kind of take that in a different direction. Today we're announcing the launch of Alpha on our 4 through 12-inch Series 2500 Resilient Wedge Gate Valves and our iconic American-Darling and Waterous fire hydrants. Alpha, what is it? It's a unique restrained joint system that was really invented by Romac Industries, and we are, however, the company that's going to bring it to the valve and hydrant side of the business. Corporately, we believe and always will that ductile iron pipe is the material of choice. I think his superior performance characteristics really speak for themselves. We've mentioned on your show before where we have flex ring in size 16-inch through 60-inch for use with ductile, but we realize in the smaller size ranges, there's some folks that tend to use a lot of different pipe materials, and we felt that this Alpha product is a perfect solution for that.
Yeah, and I was going to interject there, Todd, and specifically to Derek. So, for what we understand, just about everyone still uses the mechanical joint, or I guess, MJ for short. As the old adage says, why not leave well enough alone? And what can you talk about in terms of the benefits of using Alpha as opposed to MJ?
Well, Patrick, you're right, and I think that's a great question. Why not leave well enough alone? And that's something that we hear a lot, not only in this industry, but in our daily lives. But it's really not our culture at American. As you recall from some of our earlier interviews, American operates on a golden rule culture. We treat people the way that you'd want to be treated. So if you expand on that philosophy just a little bit, we think that we're always trying to do things the right way, and improving what you do is a big part of that. We've embraced the Alpha concept as being a better way. And really, to be more specific and answer your questions, what does this mean for the end user? What does this mean for the specifier of a product? One feature that Alpha brings to the table that's especially attractive is its compatibility with various materials, including ductile iron, cast iron, PVC, HDPE. That means it'll work with just about any pipe material that you have on the job. Secondly, compared to mechanical joint, which uses up to 8 bolts on each end, Alpha only uses one bolt. It's a stainless steel bolt at the very top, and that kind of feeds into my third point. It's very easy to install. A lot of the bolts in a traditional mechanical joint design are on the bottom of the valve. Valves are heavy. They can be heavy. And so typically you've either got to block them up or you'll have to roll them out of the way a little bit to be able to tighten those bottom bolts. All of this equates to saving time and money on these two factors. Unlike the mechanical joint, Alpha, the accessories come pre-attached. So essentially, this is going to save you even more time and money. And in the end, Alpha works with pressure. It doesn't rely solely on a frictional type restraint, if you will. So in summary, its physical strength, one-piece stab, quick install design, its ability to accommodate a wide range of pipe diameters, really can possibly make American's gate valves and fire hydrants really the only one that you'll ever need.
All right. Maury, I've heard Derek in the past talk about the flex ring. So looking at American's site, and there's a lot of great stories and content there, to the use of the American ductile iron pipe and American flow control gate valves for the matter using flex ring ends. I mean, so tell us some more of those stories about what makes the flex ring the go-to restrained joint has obviously become.
Well, sure, Todd. We've got flex ring for 4-inch diameter through 54-inch diameter for both ductile iron pipe and our valves, and we can provide it for our spiral weld product as well. Flex ring is boltless, positive restraint with flexibility. So when it comes to joint performance, that's simply the trifecta.
So let's shift now to the market focus that you're on there, Maury. What products are the focal point of American Ductile Iron Pipe's marketing efforts?
Sure, we've got 3 that we're focusing on this week here at WEFTEC. The first is zinc coating for the exterior of ductile iron pipe. It's being adopted all across the country with great popularity for distribution diameters, ductile iron pipe, to add it even more years to the life of an already long-lasting and resilient product. Secondly, we've got our earthquake joint on display here. It has 2.4 inches contraction or expansion for a total range of longitudinal motion of 4.8 inches. And within that, there are 8 degrees of joint flexibility, giving a very high performance joint for seismic conditions. And seismic preparation is big news these days. And once again, American is leading the way in that field. And thirdly, but equally, we have our Amarillo fast grip gasket that adds our trademark bright yellow color for identification purposes to the fast grip gasket that provides joint restraint for a field adaptable push-on joint.
So you mentioned the earthquake joint. Shifting back to Derek real quick, American Flow Control has an earthquake joint too. Is that correct?
That's correct. Pat, we do. In a seismic event, typically a couple things are lost in the utility side, failed are the electrical and gas lines. And these 2 failures typically lead to fires. And also in the utility sector, if you lose water lines, you're going to lose fire protection. And our thought there was that we needed to develop a hydrant lead that would offer some resistance to that problem. So our company's been the first to offer a seismic hydrant lead, if you will. The EQ joint from American, we put a special base on the fire hydrant and allows, like Maury said, plus or minus 2.4 inches of expansion. If you take into account the flex ring gate valve, isolation valve that we have in front of the hydrant, it gives a total of 13 degrees of deflection, which is a pretty significant amount of allowable movement on a hydrant lead. The goal there, of course, is to keep fire protection intact. All this works on the backs of the inherent strength of ductile iron.
All right. In a recent conversation, Maury, with you guys, you mentioned that American was preparing to present several papers to the ASCE conference in Kansas City. I'm curious to know what those papers were and how they were received.
Well, sure, Todd. We went there in July for the ASCE conference, and we had 5 papers presented. One dealt with zinc coating for ductile iron pipe, another with the earthquake joint system, a third that Derek and I presented jointly concerning energy savings through material selection. We took a 24-inch diameter pipeline, 30,000 feet in length, with 5 valves. We compared the energy requirements to operate that line if it were made of PVC pipe and butterfly valves, to a similar line if it were built of ductile iron pipe and the American flex ring gate valves with a full opening. We measured the energy required to operate the 2 lines, made a comparison, for energy consumption, translated that to a monetary value, and we translated that to the environmental impact of the carbon emissions related to that energy. It was very well received. All of these sessions were very well attended. In addition to that, American participated in a paper concerning the construction of the third set of locks for the Panama Canal, and we highlighted a horizontal directional drilling project right here in the state of Louisiana.
That sounds very cool. Derek, anything you want to add to the conversation around ASCE?
Well, like Maury said, the papers were well received, and it's part of the golden rule culture that I mentioned earlier. We think it's important to give back to the industry that we earn our livings in. And, I guess something I'm kind of proud of. Maury's not going to brag, but I probably will a little bit. We submitted 5 papers here, and all 5 were essentially accepted. And I can tell you, if you look across the spectrum of the papers that were presented, I think it spoke very highly of our company and the experience that we bring to the table and the knowledge and really our investment in the industry. If folks were not able to attend the conference, or if possibly did not purchase a copy of the proceedings of the conference, we have some summary copies of the topics that Maury just discussed available. Come by our booth here at WEFTEC, 3829, or simply contact one of our associates, and we'll be glad to get that to you.
And you can also find those on our website.
Outstanding.
You know, when Derek and Maury were last on Water Online Radio, one of the things that I remember, having listened back to the interview, because I wasn't asked to participate in that one, but anyway, was
Sorry, Patrick.
you know, the new app that American is involved in, as well as the hydrant security cap. And I was wondering maybe if you could just sort of expand on how things are going with that, since you guys did mention it back in June in Chicago.
Well, they're actually both going very well. The app is, of course, the newest development that we've brought to the table. And essentially the app it's called AFC Mapper, and it takes Trimble's Unity software, integrates Ezra's GIS technologies and the 2D barcodes that we put on our valves and hydrants, and it brings a lot of data to the table, manufacturing attributes, those types of things. And how does that fit into the world that we live in? You can get all this data by using a simple smartphone or a tablet, bring your own device type approach, if you will. Gives the field personnel quick access to information such as fire hydrant thread specs, depth of bury, other information such as size, configuration, number of turns. You name it, you can get it really through this app. It's available by going to www.trimblewater.com/AFC-mapper.html. Other items that you can add to that are photos, GPS locations, etc.
Sounds pretty neat. One more question for me. Recently was brought to my attention that American participated in something called A Day Without Water. Seems like a pretty neat and fairly brand new initiative. I was wondering maybe if you could tell the audience a little bit about A Day Without Water.
Well, sure. This is something that, again, I harp on a lot, I guess, but I believe in our culture. And we thought this was an opportunity to put back in the industry that we earn our livings from. And this was an approach that really allowed folks to look at the basics of water and how important it is in our daily lives. It's all present. It's required for virtually everything we do. A couple of articles were published on the history side of it, and a couple of articles that were published really kind of presenting what would happen if it weren't there type scenario. And it's very important not only to our industry, but it's important to our well-being. And one of the articles I had the pleasure of writing had to do with the history of the fire hydrant. I got a lot of emails back on that, and a lot of folks did not associate the term fire plug to the fire hydrant. And of course that takes it back to the early days and when fire mains were made out of wood, and you actually bored into the water main and you put a plug in place. So it was a fun thing to do. We enjoyed doing it, and got a lot of really good response from folks that read some of the information we put out there.
You know, we take water and we take public health for granted oftentimes here in the first world. But I've often said clean water is the greatest advancement in public health in the history of the world.
Absolutely.
And it's true. Even today, tens of thousands of folks die every day from waterborne diseases because they don't have the opportunity for ductile iron pipe in their municipal water systems and valves and fire hydrants to provide safety and clean public health opportunities. So to participate in Imagine a Day Without Water was an honor for our company and a service to the industry, and we do hope that people will continue to appreciate the value of what we have in our water.
That's a great point.
Well, and on that, Matt, on that note, we'll close and appreciate your all's important and fine work to this to that end. So grateful for that. Maury, how can people contact you should they have any questions and need to contact you about anything you're involved in?
On the website, it's american-usa.com. My email is mgaston@american-usa.com, and my phone is 205-325-7803.
All right, Derek, how can people find you should they need to talk to you about anything?
Well, similar email, dscott@american-usa.com. My phone number is 205-325-7863. You can also follow any of our news feeds on our website, american-usa.com. We have a news center there. Or follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/news@American.
Derek Scott, the Marketing and Technical Manager with American Flow Control, and Maury Gaston, Manager Marketing Services, American Ductile Iron Pipe, and American Spiral Weld Pipe. Gentlemen, as always, great to spend time with you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Todd.
Good to see you. Good luck with the rest of the show. All right, all the time we have for today. Check out all of our broadcasts from WEFTEC in New Orleans at wateronlineradio.com. Thanks again for listening to Water Online Radio. On behalf of all of us, Todd Schnick signing off. Water Online Radio will be right back.